Hey there, Soul Shines. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And I just got out of physical therapy. It feels good to go to physical therapy, but sometimes it just also hurts, right? Life is like that sometimes too. There's some things, some changes that kind of hurt, but in the long run, they feel so good. I don't know if that's really on topic, but I probably will tie it in somehow. So today, I want to talk about something I heard over this weekend that just really struck with me. And it's about money and the source of our money. And who are we considering our source? So, most people actually consider money their source. They are so focused on that money and the feeling, the needing to get it, that they're not focusing on the feelings or focusing on real income. So our source ideally is going to be God or the universe, whatever your higher power is, whatever you call that, that's your real source. And if you really truly trusted your source to co-create these experiences with you so that you had all the feelings that you need in place, all those wonderful, yummy feelings, and you trust that the universe or God or your higher power or your higher self or whatever you call it, if you trust that source is going to fulfill what you're feeling inside and that co-creation is going to work, then you're going to get what you want. But unfortunately, so many of us, and I'm so guilty of this, put other things as our source. So for me, I don't know that I necessarily have money as my source. I don't necessarily think that money comes from money kind of thing, and this energy of this dependent on money. However, one of the things that's been happening right now is really kind of waking me up along with this, and why I think this struck so hard is that I think I put my mom as the source and my ex-husband as the source. See, my ex-husband pays child support, which is money that comes in. So I'm like, oh my gosh, if he loses his job, what am I gonna do? Well, that is not trusting. That is not positive feelings. That is fear and anxiety and putting all my faith in his child support check. Also, my mom, we live together, so she pays a lot of the bills, and she's really sick right now, and I don't want her to die, but also, along with that, I don't want her to die is the panic and the fear and the anxiety that comes, if she dies, what happens financially? And I realized, oh my gosh, I put her as my other source of income. So I have put my faith and trust in these people to provide, instead of getting clear and putting my trust in knowing that the Lord will provide. I do find it interesting that it's not across the board, because I have declared that my business credit card will always be paid, and I will always have the payment a month in advance. And I didn't have that come from money from my mom or money from my ex. It's just whatever money comes in. And so even if I only get one client a month, it covers that, and it's happened. So, and that particular thing, I'm like, I don't know where it's going to come from, other than I know it's not coming from my mom, and it's not coming from my ex. It's also not coming from the workers' comp check that I've been getting. So it has to come from somewhere else, and there has always been a way to provide that. So in that one little area, I've put my faith in just that certainty that it's going to come somehow. And so now that I'm aware of this, I get to really look and check in with changing those things, changing my beliefs to where I can really truly believe that God and the universe, my higher powers, all of my higher powers, because I believe there's a lot more than God watching out for me. I can believe all of those things are actually working for me and with me, and I can go in and clean up those fears and anxieties, because you can be the most positive person on the earth, but if you have anxiety about things, like just kind of hovering underneath, and you're kind of ignoring that anxiety is actually what's creating your reality. So you may be super positive and you may feel good about some things, but if you have an area where as soon as you think about it, you kind of get those feelings are creating the experience in that area. So you need to go in and change the beliefs so you get new feelings. So it's pretty powerful to be aware of these things. And I'm really determined. That's actually my word for the week, is determined. And I am determined this week that I will clear out these fears, because I love my mom and I want my mom to stay around because I want her to be around. I don't like the part of me, and I get to love that part of me as well, that doesn't want my mom to die because of the money. I think that's just silly of me. So there are some areas for me to really do some belief work and healing work, and so that I can be at peace always. That when money comes up, I can just be at peace with it. And so sometimes I think, I'm gonna buy this because I believe something's gonna come, but I'll say that and I kind of feel it on one level, but at the same time there's this little tiny seed of doubt underneath, and that seed of doubt is what's creating my experience. So pay attention. If you have an area of your life, it doesn't have to be money, it can be anything. If you have any area of your life that as soon as you think about that, or you're experiencing things you don't like, check in and notice what kind of feelings are there. And if you have some feelings that are not love and above, they're not those joyful, grateful, peaceful, calm feelings. If you don't have those kind of feelings in that area, there's something there to look at, and it is creating your experience. And so if you can change that, you can change your experience. And here's the other thing. This is something I'm super guilty of as well. This is like confessional day or something. I don't know. But here's the other thing. We don't change our feelings and our beliefs so that our circumstances can change. And this is where I go wrong, because I've gotten frustrated. I'm like, I do all this inner work and nothing's changing. Well, if I'm changing it to try and manipulate my circumstances, that's not the right reason to change it. That's a control thing, and it's not allowing, and it's not co-working with the divine. It's coming from some kind of a place of fear and lack, instead of just be like, okay, I'm just gonna change how I feel about this because I want to feel better about it. And it doesn't matter whether the circumstances change or not. I'm just gonna change it. And their circumstances will change once you clear out all of those control issues and anxiety. And here we go. It just is determined. So hopefully there's some coherent thought in here. I feel like I'm not necessarily as coherent as I could be. I think it's because I have like 30 things that I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this and this and this and this. But I'm hoping that there's something that will stand out to you. That's that little piece that you're needing right now to help you shift your perspective on something, some area of your life, so that you can start experiencing love and joy and peace in this world. Because that's really cool, because bad things are going to happen to everybody in life. Not because you're necessarily aligned with it, but because, like the earthquakes happen. How you respond to the earthquake is totally up to you. That's what you can choose. You can choose to respond positively. For me, I went into mega fear, but that mega fear, instead of like just going with it and staying with it, I chose to really look at what was going on and to let go of those fears, really changing what is my perspective about this. I found out I had a lot of interesting perspectives about being alone, a single mom, being cut off from my family. There's like all kinds of things going on, and that's the real fears. And as soon as I let those go, I'm just like, oh, actually I'm okay, and I'm doing okay. And the same with this virus thing. If you watch, different people are responding differently, and it's because of what they're aligned with. There are people who are not going to be economically hurt at all from this because they're not putting their trust in the money and the government. They're putting their trust in a higher power. they're also, it's not always about, you're not like looking for money, some of them. Like me, I'm like, I want to have a certain amount of money in my savings account, and it's been really interesting that the money comes up for that. And I have a person that one of my debts, I have one debt that's really important to me because she was a mentor that I hired, a coach, healer. And like, I just adore her, so I want to pay her. So that money is coming for that. I'm just like creating that. But some of my other things, the money is not coming, and it's because I'm focused on the money, not the experience, not the paying thing off, not the, oh my gosh, I get to give money to this person, and oh my gosh, isn't it fun to watch my savings account grow? And the other things, it's like, oh wow, what are we gonna do? Where am I gonna get money for that? And instead of being like, we always have food, let's focus on always having food instead of the money to get the food, because maybe your food's going to come another way, and that's okay. But when you're working with the source, it will come to you in the best way possible. And when you're working with the source, like God, Father, the divine realm, the universe, all that, when you're actually working with them for specific places and things, then you will have that flow in. Another, see, I told you, I've got like so many thoughts, like all coming together, like, oh, what do I say? I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I really actually love coming to physical therapy because it's a moment alone, and I get to record videos. I'm like, oh, look, I can actually do it, instead of the time when I was really struggling because I had no alone time. Isn't it great that things are improving and things are getting better? See you guys next time.